following show is controversial and contains content you may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. 98 FM's Dublin Talks. Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Tuesday morning, Tuesday, November 6th, 2018. And how are you this morning? I'm Adrian Kennedy, and between now and midday today, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks, the mid-morning talk and phone-in show for Dublin, by Dublin, and about Dublin. If you want to get in contact with us, if there's anything you'd like to bring up on the show, you can send us a private message to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D. You can send us an email to dublintalks@98fm.com. Lots of you do that. In fact, we got the most bizarre email earlier on from somebody who wants to express concern that her dad is collecting teddy bears. What can I do about it? I'm worried. That's a genuine email we got earlier on. What can you do about somebody who's collecting teddies? Anyway, what else have we got on today's programme? In just a moment, pitch-side violence. We're going to try and find out, have you got a child involved in schoolboy soccer? If you have, I'd love to hear from you on 6797981. Text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98, because lots of reports today about schoolboy football matches called off as adults attack players. And apparently, this is quite widespread, and we're going to try and find out how widespread it is in just a moment. If you have a child that plays schoolboy soccer, is this being blown out of all proportion? Is there no scrapping at the side of the pitch? Let me know. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. We'll also be discussing the dangers of high energy drinks. And just before 11, a study out today. I'm kind of surprised. I'm shocked by this, actually. A study out today has shown that the public have very little sympathy toward smokers who develop lung cancer. I'll be talking to a woman who developed it and doesn't want any sympathy. Interesting. And much more besides. We have a busy show between now and midday today, and live from Dublin City Centre, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. Headline in many newspapers today: schoolboy football matches called off as adults attack players. Now, schoolboys being the key word here. Children as young as 11 have been involved in schoolboy football matches that had to be abandoned due to violent or unsavoury incidents in recent weeks. Now, as I said, if you are a parent of a child who plays schoolboy soccer, is it as bad as this report makes it out to be? And this statement from the Dublin and District Schoolboys League. 98 FM's Philip Egan from our sports department is here in the studio with me to tell me a little bit more about this. Phil, welcome to the show. What can you tell me about this? Is this a big problem?
It appears so. Obviously, you heard it in the news there that this is something that's happened in the last 6 weeks. We've had 7 matches abandoned. So the statement actually appeared in the Evening Herald yesterday. So the paper is a striker supplement, which is a great supplement for schoolboy football. I can remember as a kid playing in the DDSL, and you used to rush out to buy the paper to see who you were going to play at the weekend, and it would also have the results from the previous weekend. So, you know, if you'd won, the excitement was there. That's what football is all about, Adrian. Excitement, enjoyment. So what is happening here is the excitement, and obviously there's a lot on the line. Some people would say it's only a game. Some people get a bit more heated up when it comes to games. And it seems that the problem is a lot of it is down to who is on the sideline. So, you could be going along to watch your son or daughter play, and you mightn't like what's going on the pitch, and then verbal start. And, you go to any park at the weekend, you'll see all the sidelines pretty much full, and for the majority of the games, there's encouragement there for the kids. But every so often, there is little heated moments, even on the pitch. But if it happens on the pitch, that's up to the referee to take control. But it doesn't help if the referee's been undermined by what is coming from the sidelines.
So there have been incidents, and from what I could see from the statement, at a number of matches over recent weeks where matches had to be abandoned due to the behaviour of parents.
Yeah, and you know, I think that is one of the only solutions. If you're a referee and the game has spiraled out of control, if there's brawls on the sideline, if there's brawls on the pitch, all you can do as a referee is say, I'm done with this, call off the game. You know, you do up your report, you submit it to the league, and then it's up to the league to act. Now, what they said in the statement is what they would like to do is give a fine of €500 to the club, a 6-point deduction. That's the first offence. Second offence, you might get relegated by at least one division. And, you know, some clubs really do pride themselves on their status of what league they're in. And then any further incidents could get the club removed from the league completely. And, you know, that maybe even the club, maybe not even just the team itself at that certain age level, but the club could be could be thrown out of the league altogether, all the different age groups, which you don't want. If it's one team that's causing a problem, why should the other age groups have to take a fall for that as well?
I was very interested in something you said to me before the show today, that when you were a bit younger, your dad once asked you, would you like to become a soccer referee? And you answered?
I said, absolutely not. And my dad used to be secretary of a football club who would have had plenty of teams in the DDSL. And, you know, as a teenager, I obviously played. And he said, you know, if you're playing on a Sunday, why don't you do a bit of refereeing on a Saturday? I said, why would I get out of bed on a Saturday to get abuse off parents? You know, because you might
and that's what it's like.
You might get a call wrong. Like, we watch football every day of the week. Referees, even the best referees, get things
mistakes,
wrong.
yes,
like, they've had to bring in video assistant referees because referees get things wrong.
But we're not likely to have that in the DDSL anytime
absolutely
soon.
Not. So, you know, you go along, you do the best job you can. If it's not good enough, then, you know, you're leaving yourself open for abuse. And, you know, people might say, oh, you gotta have maybe thicker skin. But why would you know, if you want to be a referee, you enjoy football, but why would who's going to enjoy getting abused by parents or even some of the players? But I think a lot of this
is a lot of this down to parents. This is from what I'm reading, and in fact I spoke to somebody a couple of weeks ago who had been at a match, at a schoolboy match, and a father come on the pitch and thumped one of the young fellas on the opposing team. He thumped the young fella, and was that because somebody had an issue with his? Yeah, I don't know what the issue was, but the parent, the adult, came onto the pitch and attacked the young fella, hit him a dig. Yeah, which I mean, that's the guards should be involved in that. Like, that's crazy, and I suppose that's why the DDSL have released a statement, because they feared that, you know, there is brawls, and brawls are just becoming so much more. We see so many more of them online now because everyone has a camera. Everyone has a camera phone. So someone sees a brawl, they just take their phone out, and, you know, that goes instant, that goes viral, and that is where we are in terms of technology. But I just feel that, you know, if you're getting kids that are getting thumped by adults, like, and this is what the DDSL have said, this could be a lot more serious than a few cuts and bruises. You know, this could end up with somebody losing a life. And the bottom line is, that's not what the game is about. That's not what any sport is about. Yes, you can understand how parents are there, they're supporting their young fellas and they want them to do well, but to be marching onto the pitch and... it actually embarrasses the kids. Yeah, it does. I know, as a kid, just the way it transpired, like, my parents couldn't always go to games because of work schedules or whatever, but there was certain parents that would be there for other players, and some of them were embarrassing, and you could tell that my teammates would think I would rather if they stayed at home. All right, Phil Egan, thanks very much indeed for hanging around and filling us in on that story. And by the way, we did reach out to the DDSL all day, and it was Chairman Paddy Dempsey who spoke about this. He has been unavailable, and we've reached out to many other committee members from the DDSL and have yet to receive a response. And I think probably they're avoiding talking about this now because it does highlight an extreme negative about schoolboy football. Andrew, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Andrew?
How are you doing? You well?
Now, Andrew, you're a referee.
Yeah.
Are you a soccer referee, a Gaelic referee? Gaelic, okay. And you rang to say basically that this just doesn't happen in soccer, it happens in Gaelic too.
Oh yes, I do underage from under 12s up to senior, and I do ladies football as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you get very, not so much in the ladies, because the ladies actually hand out disciplinary and heavy fines. And you get written warnings and if this happens again, this person won't be allowed in the field. I had 2 clubs this year, they were both fined €500. One person got 4 weeks from the line, and another person got 12 weeks from the line.
Mm-hmm.
I've had underage, under 12 football 1 year where I watched a young lad continue his run about 7 or 8 metres, hit a young lad in the back with a shoulder, his neck went back, I went over, and I had a pen in the pocket. I had to get his tongue back where he had swallowed his tongue.
My God.
I've had issues where I've sent both sets of supporters from the line at under 12 football down into the car park. I said, you can all watch the game from there. The managers can stay there.
And that's because they were getting so heated.
Yeah, and across to each other. I remember on the game one day, I stepped back 30 metres from the sideline and said, you can all stand back here. Oh, but what about the other line ref? I said, I haven't dealt with them yet. Stand here. I said, nobody is to be standing near that line, and went to the other side and stepped back 30 metres. You can all watch the game, and if there's one word, I'm calling off the game, and I'm out of here.
And okay, that's obviously a fairly extreme incident, and I've been at matches, at my young teenagers matches in Gaelic as well, and seen people getting heated, but never that bad.
Yeah.
But this what do you put this down to, Andrew? Is it parents just being too passionate, or is it parents acting like scumbags?
Oh, well, you can take your pick from both of them, either, or it's because they've lost, it's the referee's fault. It's the referee's fault. I've had people walking out and spitting at the referee. I had 2 lads one day at a match come down where I issued a red card. The player was only on the field about 10 minutes, headbutted the player into the face. I sent them off. The team still won the game to get to a semi-final. This is a couple of years ago. Went down into the dressing room, and 2 lads came in, and your man was going that much of a roundabout way to ask me, what's the story, ref? But I said, for headbutting the player, I said, there's no change in the colour of the card there. I said, that stays as a red. Next thing, he starts poking me on the shoulder, saying, what about all the other decisions you got wrong? I just looked and said, I'd advise you not to do that again. Ye won the game now. So next thing, he went to do it again. I grabbed his 2 fingers, drove the thumb underneath his chin and down over the knee. And the lad closed the door. And I said, before you step inside that door, I said, 11 years martial arts and 6 years of boxing. I said, are you sure you want to step inside that door? He turned, opened the door, walked out, shut the door, and left your man inside.
My God. Right, so this, have you ever had to abandon a match?
Yeah.
How many times?
Not too often, thank God, or walked off the field, and then managers or whoever coming over, he's gone, ref, will you continue on with the game? I abandoned the game this year. I had to go out of Kildare to do a final, and it ended a draw. It ended a draw at extra time, and there was 5 yellows, a red and a black card in the game. And because one young lad grabbed the other young lad, a manager came out to break them up. Of course, one of the other mentors seen this. He came and got involved. Then and the whole stand ascended onto the football field in a mass brawl.
Really?
Yeah.
Over a juvenile match?
Yeah, it was an under-16s game.
My God. Okay, so this isn't just a soccer issue. This is a across-the-board issue for all sports. I
was talking to another referee there a couple of weeks back, and he had an issue with a lad that gave him abusive language and spat at the referee.
Well, stay there for 1 second, Andrew. Our telephone number is 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. We're talking about a statement that was issued yesterday by the Dublin and District Schoolboys League, who confirmed that 7 matches have been abandoned in the past 6 weeks. It's understood that of those, 3 were under 12 matches and 1 was in the under 13 age group. 1 under 14 game, an under 15 match and an under 16 game were also abandoned due to unsavoury incidents. Now, the league condemned the violence, which included some incidents of adults striking out at young children, and vowed to crack down on those involved with fines and suspensions. And what I'm hearing from Andrew is this doesn't just happen in schoolboy soccer, it's also happening on Gaelic pitches, with parents just getting ridiculously hyped up over games. And the DDSL statement said it feared that the rise in violent incidents could lead to a serious injury. Alma, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Alma.
Hi, how are you?
Alma, you deal with this every week.
Not with it every week, but you can't...
Sorry, Alma, I can't hear you there. You've gone off in the distance.
Sorry, I said you can't just blame the parents as well. We see a lot of it from the coaches who see stuff that the kids are doing to the other kids and they're just playing a blind eye to it. And you can't blame the parents when your child is being... Like my child plays under 12. He comes home 1 week, a particular team in particular, and with stud marks on the top of his legs, and refusing to give up and wanting to not play football anymore because the team is so dirty. But the coaches see it and they know, but they don't do anything about it. And the rest, just because you can't see everything, a lot of it gets played a blind eye to, and then the parents end up getting annoyed because they don't see what's going on. And now we had a team, the same team, we played them home and away, and we played them home recently. And as the kids were leaving the dressing room with their coach, I was going to the toilet with my young fella. The coach turned around to the kids and said, "Let's beat these CUNTS." I didn't want to say the word, just kids. That's what he said to the kids. So what, So I made a complaint, but nothing was ever done about it.
Okay, so you're saying that it's not just the parents, it's some coaches as well that just get so hyped up.
Get so hyped up and they don't care. Like one of our guys got knocked down really, really bad. The ref wouldn't even stop the game. He just said, "Continue on, play, just play." And then the father of the child was standing there. My son is on the ground. He says, "No, play the game." So I don't know where they're getting the refs from sometimes as well, because they're just... And the parents are getting hyped up because some of the kids are getting quite badly hurt, and the refs are just continuing the game, or they're not doing anything about it. Don't get me wrong, some of the parents do get overworked as well. They're only kids at the end of the day, and they should be a bit of fun, and they should be able to go out and enjoy it.
All right. Wow, this is widespread. In fact, somebody's claiming that this never happens in teenage rugby. I don't know if that's true, but it's certainly happening in Gaelic and in soccer. And stay there for a second, Alma, because Emmett, you coach under 15 soccer, and you were involved in one of the matches that had to be abandoned.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming it's one because they said in the last 6 weeks, and our game was abandoned yet for about 6 weeks.
And tell me about the match. Who was playing?
It was up in Sandyford, St Mary's boys against Selbridge. And the game itself was a grand game. Like, there wasn't even a card in the game. Like, there was no maliciousness by any of the players or anything. And we previously played them in the cup final only a few weeks previous, and they just had one. It was one of the other children's fathers, and he was mounting at his own son originally in the final, and then he was at our game up on our pitch, and he was just speaking and trying to monitor all of the kids, so we had a few words with him, and then even the referee had a few words with him, and then one of my players, he's a bit hot-headed now, but I just told him to just keep it cool, and I said, shut him up with scoring a goal, I said. And of course he goes in the last minute of the game and scores a goal and runs up their sideline with the finger up to his lip, shushing your man, and your man hit him a boot then, and the young fella's lying on the ground, and then the player off our team, his parents, there was a few punches thrown alright, but just by your man's parents, but the game got abandoned, yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, it was somebody that I know was in contact.
Yeah, I remember he was telling me he was in contact with at the time. Yeah.
Right, and this was this is what John sent to me. He said St Mary's boys scored what should have been a winning goal, but one of the parents from the opposite team ran onto the pitch and kicked the legs from under the 15-year-old goal scorer, sending him in agony to the ground. The father of that 15-year-old ran across the pitch and punched that parent who had just assaulted his son, and the match was abandoned with 5 seconds to go.
Yeah, literally, it was an injury time, yeah.
And as a matter of interest, was I believe, which team was in the lead? St Mary's were in the lead, were they?
Well, St Mary's and Selbridge, yeah, it was a league game,
But who was in the lead when the match was abandoned?
Who was in the league?
Who was in the lead? Who was winning the match?
In the league. Sorry, the game was 0-0, and then we scored, so it would have made it 1-0 in the last. It would have made it 1-0 in injury time. So basically, it was one of the last few seconds of the game. So we would have won, 1-0.
And as a matter of interest, was that a match awarded, or did it have to be replayed?
No, to be fair, I don't know. We went to a meeting with the DDSL over it, and to be fair, their manager's a lovely man. We were chatting to him. He was over apologetic, as like he was as shocked as we were. And we met him in at the meeting. They were obviously in the meeting before us, and to be fair, he had our back and everything. And he, and we were down to actually play them the following week after the meeting, and we told the league we'd be happy to play because that other man wasn't at the game, and the league just never let us play the fixture, and they've just voided the game apparently. So I think the points go nowhere. Like.
And let me ask you, as somebody who is coaching, do you blame? Who do you blame? Is it the parents who just get too hot-headed?
To be fair, like I said, that game itself, like there wasn't one bit of malice in the game. It was just an act of craziness by one stupid man. And I don't know, like, for referees don't help it either, though, to be honest with you. Like, there's a lot of very old referees who, like, they're not up to the times.
But a ref is never going to get everything right, even in professional football.
1 million percent. But I mean, just in the way they speak, they could defuse situations a lot easier as well. You know what I mean? They don't help themselves. But at the same time, I don't blame referees for it now. But it's that one instance that I seen was just, like I said, one lunatic. Yeah, man, was just nuts.
As a matter of interest, were the guards called that day?
They weren't, no, because I ran over to the other sideline we were literally just saying to your man, just get in your car before something dangerous happens. So we kind of just trying to defuse the situation. To be fair, like, no, our sideline acted accordingly. No one ran over from our side. Coaches just to defuse the situation. And the only people that got involved were the child's parents. But no, it was like the guard. They didn't call the guards. Your man actually threatened to call the guards on us because he got assaulted, believe it or not. Even though he just assaulted each other.
Okay, finally, is this a big problem? The fact that the DDSL had to issue a statement yesterday after a number of matches, including the one that you're talking about, were cancelled.
Yeah. To be fair, I've never seen it before.
You've never seen it before, okay.
Not in underage level. That was the first I've ever seen of it.
All right, lots of reaction to this, I have to say. Our telephone number is 6797981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. I'll bring you some more reactions to this in just a second. But I also want to talk to you in a while about energy drinks. Did you see the story in the news today? And if you didn't, I'm about to bring it to you. Just one energy drink increases the risk of heart problems in 90 minutes. Are you somebody who regularly drinks energy drinks like, for example, Red Bull or Monster or any one of those? Well, tests have shown they can narrow a person's blood vessels, restricting blood flow and increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke. Are you somebody like that? Have you had a negative effect from drinking energy drinks? If you have, I'd like to talk to you in a couple of minutes. You can call me on 6797 981.
98 FM's Dublin Talks with Des Kelly Interiors, delivering your new bed in time for Christmas. DesKelly.ie. 98 FM.
In a couple of minutes, I want to talk to you about energy drinks. Are you somebody who drinks them regularly? And have you ever had a negative from drinking energy drinks? Has it ever affected your health? Has it ever affected your heart? Have you felt your heart racing? Because according to this report today, tests have shown that high energy drinks can narrow a person's blood vessels, restricting blood flow and increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke. So last time I'll have one of them, if that's true. Call me now on 67979 981. Now, let me go back to the schoolboy soccer thing for a second and the unbelievable reaction to this. This is a big problem. Well, that led to the DDSL, which is the Dublin and District Schoolboys League, issuing a statement yesterday. As I mentioned to you already, we have reached out to them today. We have tried to get in contact with them. The chairman, Paddy Dempsey, is just not available. We've been trying to get you all morning, Paddy, but phone's now off. But anyway, the fact is they issued a statement yesterday, and a source said that since the statement, the league has received the full backing of the clubs in their bid to bring an end to violence at matches. Now, Azadine, you're on 98 FM. How are you?
How you doing, Adrian? How are you?
You are a referee who had to abandon a game in Marley Park because you were being racially abused.
Yeah, well, this happened about 4 years ago. The game was going on very well. First half finished off fairly well. Second half, this player comes on, being substituted on, tackles a very harsh tackle, give him a yellow card, and then straight away he goes to the player and gives him a red card. He headbutts and I give him a red card, sorry. And so I gave him a red card. He walked off the pitch and he was supposed to be walking off towards the park. He went off the park, came back while the match was on. So I didn't want to cause any problems. So I said, okay, you want to watch your teammates? You can watch your teammates. There was a throw on his side, and all of a sudden he just throws at me and goes to me, "You black nigger."
Really?
Yeah, he just saw "You black nigger."
What age was this kid?
Oh, this wasn't kids. This was adults.
Oh, this was an adult?
Yeah, this was senior team.
Oh, right, okay. And he called you the N-word. Right, and what did you do then?
The coaches and all his teammates heard it, and they just were disgraced with him. I abandoned the game, and I said, you know what, I'm not coming here. I'm coming here to enjoy refereeing. I'm not coming here to be abused. And he kept saying it to me. And their coach just threw him out of the team completely. Couple of weeks later, I did report it to the league, and the league came back and apologised to me. And I even got an apologise letter from the club itself, saying that the guy has been gone and will never be playing football again. And
was that a one-off? Was that the only time that ever happened?
I do the schoolboys as well, and the racism, that was the once off, but you do get it all the time from the parents, especially at the younger age, under 9s, under 10s, you really do get it from them.
So in other words, you might make a decision to give a yellow card or send a player off, and you get dog's abuse for it.
Oh, no, it wouldn't even be the yellow card or the red card. When you're doing under 9s, under 10s, Adrian, you would tend to not give any yellow cards or anything. It's just for a throw-in. If I gave a throw-in the wrong way, you'd have parents coming into the pitch right up my face telling me that you got that wrong, and I wanted to reverse right now.
And you still do it?
Well, I love the football, so you have to.
Because I don't know if you heard earlier on, I was talking to our sports reporter Phil Egan, and he said when he was younger, his dad wanted him to get into refereeing, and his answer was, why would I want to put myself out, go on a pitch and get abused by parents?
I enjoy football. I enjoy running around, and it's something that I enjoy. But when it gets to abusive and all, now I've reduced my days now from because of it. So I'm only doing 1 day a week now. Okay,
so it is stressful. It is stressful by the sounds of it.
Yeah, no, it's still out there, and poor referee is all I can say, because it is very hard.
All right, good to talk to you, Azzedine, and let me bring in one last call, and that's you, Christopher. You're on 98 FM. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Now, you coached for a number of years, but you had to give up because of what you witnessed from other coaches and parents.
Yeah, well, I didn't really have to give up. I just decided to give up because of it. Because some of the things, what I was seeing over the 2 years. Now I played football in England, and I coached at a good level. So I decided when I came back to Ireland to coach kids, like, you know. But when you're coaching them, the whole aspect of schoolboy football is they all want to win. I know everybody wants to win, but the whole thing is you have to win. You have to win. You don't even allow kids to get coached nowadays. Like, you know, they did be coaching the kids, and the parents are coming over to me telling me what to do. Do you know what I mean? And then you're picking a team, and the parents are coming over. Listen, I don't think you should be playing him. You should be playing my son. It's totally embarrassing, to be honest. And it's the schoolboy football itself. Like, there's no emphasis on coaching the kids. Now, don't get me wrong, there is good clubs out there that the emphasis is coaching the kids. Don't worry about winning things. But 90% of the parents and 90% of the coaches are just living their failed football careers through their kids. And that's where they're getting annoyed on what they're on the sidelines. That's what I can
living their failed football careers through their kids.
That's what 100% there is. You can see guys on the sideline, and you say to yourself, you can pick them out. Those guys that are playing at a decent level in schoolboy football or Leinster senior, because you stand on the sideline and you don't open their mouths and you let the kids get on with it. And then you see the other guys that have played at not not so high as the level, but thought they were great players, and they're living their dream through that kid.
Because somebody just sent a message in saying something quite similar. It says, I'm shocked by this. In 17 years of playing and watching rugby, I've never seen anything like this. Soccer and Gaelic football is full of parents trying to live their failed careers through their children.
That's 100%.
Wow.
You can pick them out on the sideline before the game. It's unbelievable.
All right, good to talk to you, and thanks for your call. And let me read out one more message. There is no need to strike out at the ref or children from supporters at all, but down in Louth, the terrors of reffing for the girls is a disgrace. Half of them are too unfit to keep up with the game. Therefore, unfair decisions are made for both ends for each team. I think we seem to forget a ref is also there to protect the safety of the children and make fair decisions, whether there is a win or a loss. So it's a wonder when 90% of refs don't do this, how annoyed a coach or a parent gets. Most importantly, how young players who should be learning what not to do get annoyed or lose interest. All right. Very interesting story. I never realised it was as big a problem. I always knew it was there. I always knew it was in the background. One more message on that. My grandson was punched at a football match a couple of years ago. The refs only see what they want to see. I do think it's a little bit unfair to be blaming the refs on everything. They're not superhuman. They don't have the luxury of video replay and all of that, and they are going to get mistakes or make mistakes. Anyway, now let me come back to what I was mentioning to you a couple of minutes ago. And this is a report that just one energy drink is enough to cause heart problems. The report found that guzzling drinks like Red Bull or Monster could narrow your blood vessels. Narrowing arteries increases the risk of blockages, which cause heart attacks and strokes. The new findings echo past studies which have warned young people to steer clear of the drinks. One scientist from Texas said, as energy drinks are becoming more and more popular, it's important to study the effects of these drinks on those who frequently drink them and better determine what, if any, is a safe consumption level. If you're somebody who ever had a negative from consuming a high energy drink, I'd love to hear from you on 6797981. I know for me, I can't have more than one. And I'll be honest, if I have more than one, I don't anymore. If I have more than one, my heart races and jumps out of my chest, and it's kind of scary. I'd nearly have palpitations if I'd have more than one. I do have the odd one, and I would have the odd one if I'm working at night and I'm a little bit tired and you need just a little boost. I would have one can of an energy drink, but never more than one. Not in a million years would I have more than one, because on previous occasions I've literally felt my heart racing in my chest. Have you had any negatives from drinking high energy drinks? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98 0877 98 98 98. Let's go to somebody who used to drink quite a lot. Leah, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Leah.
Hiya, how are you doing?
Now, Leah, you used to drink 3 cans of an energy drink.
I did, yes. It didn't start off at 3 a day, but they're quite addictive. But yeah, I drank up to 3 a day.
And 3 a day in the morning, or spread across the day, or what?
Within 8 hours.
You drink
within my working shift.
Okay, so you would drink 3 cans of, what was it, Monster you were drinking?
Yes, it was Monster.
And you would drink 3 cans in a day over an 8-hour period. And why did you start drinking it? Were you feeling tired, or what was it?
I was feeling tired. Someone said I couldn't drink Red Bull, didn't like it, so someone said try Monster. I tried it. It was only every couple of days when I was sluggish or work or whatever, wake myself up. And it kind of just grew from there. It went from, one every 2 to 3 days to 1 a day to 2 a day to 3 a day. And that's when I started to feel the problems of it.
Okay, and what were the problems that you felt?
I was getting agitated. It was heart palpitations. I was getting angry if I didn't have one. It was like a proper addiction. it was crazy, the effects. It was just, besides the money of them, the cost of them, it was more of the health issue as well.
Okay, so what you found was that initially they would help you, give you a little boost or whatever, but then you found that the more you drank, the more they affected you.
Oh yeah, I became dependent on them. I wouldn't be able to do anything unless I had a can of Monster with me. The first thing I'd wake up and think of, I'm going to have to get a can of Monster before I start work. Or I'm going to get a can of Monster on my lunch, or when I finish work on my way home. And then by the time you're finished, a normal 8-hour shift, you can't keep your eyes open on the bus home, so you need one to stay awake on the bus. But then you're at home and then you're getting agitated because you don't have one.
Right, that's a severe dependency then.
Oh yeah, it was really bad. And then I decided I couldn't do it anymore. I went, as I'd say, cold turkey. And then within 24 hours, I had headaches turned to migraines. I had the shakes. I was irritable. I was just so cranky. It was
they're the symptoms of, it sounds like giving up cigarettes or coming off heroin.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. And it took me ages, and I got to 2 a day, and then I'm now on 1 a day. But for the last 2 weeks, I think it's 1 every 2 to 3 days. Okay, and
obviously your intention is to get off them and not have them anymore.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I would advise every single person to not drink them. Don't start. That one, it's like cigarettes. You get addicted, and then it's crazy, the withdrawal.
Okay, now that you're nearly off the energy drinks, do you feel worse? Do you feel better?
When I first started to come off them, I felt worse than anything. To be honest, I did. I felt horrible, and then I just wanted to go back up onto them again. But now I'm slowly I don't depend on them. It's kind of I look at it as a treat. Now, to say that I'll have one now today, and then I won't have one maybe till Friday or something.
Okay, but you do intend not taking them anymore.
Better. Yeah, I've ended up in hospital with heart palpitations. My heart would beat really, really fast for no reason. It's ridiculous.
And like I said in my introduction, I would have one the odd time, and I'm talking maybe once a month, if even that. But I would never have two. If I have two, it does affect me. My heart does race, and I can really feel it in my chest, which isn't a nice feeling. Okay, but look, I wish you well getting off it. It does sound like talking to a nicotine addict or a heroin addict. After the break, I'm going to talk to a night worker who regularly drinks them as well. I'd like to hear from you. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Also after the break, I want to ask you this question. If you live with your other half, what is the one thing that he or she does that really bugs you? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98.
98 FM's Dublin Talks with Des Kelly Interiors. New wood flooring fitted in time for Christmas. DesKelly.ie. 98 FM.
It's Tuesday's Dublin Talks. I hope everything is good in your world. I'm Adrian Kennedy. We were talking about energy drinks. Mick, you were telling us about somebody that you know who had a big problem.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mick. How are you?
I actually work I'm a night worker, and I basically work indoors, and the lads I work with drink 2 to 4 cans a night.
2 to 4 cans a night?
Yeah, that's 5 nights a week. And you know what the gas thing is, Adrian? I'm the weird one because I don't drink energy drinks.
Yeah, and like I said, I drink them occasionally if I've had a really long day and I need to keep going for the rest of the day. But it would be very occasionally. I try not to have it at all.
No, I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole, Adrian. I think that's too dangerous. You know what I mean? If you have a slight heart-eating problem with me or anything like that could trigger anything. You know what I mean? No way.
Yep, all right. I was the same as Leah, who was on there a couple of minutes ago, having 3 or 4 cans of Monster every day. It got to the point where... Oh, Oh no, I'm not reading that bit out, but anyway. It took a long time to get off them, and it's incredibly difficult with tough withdrawal symptoms. They're very dangerous, easily addictive, and should not be sold to children. I believe most places don't actually sell them to children. But anyway, there you go. Be warned, and have a read of that report for yourself. Energy crisis. Just one energy drink increases the risk of heart problems in 90 minutes. Jeremy's here in the studio with me. You drink from every now.
Why didn't you read out that part of the text about something glowing in the dark? I think that's fascinating.
Leave him at it.
Yeah, I do.
How often?
A can a day.
A can a day?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, kind of Red Bull a day. Sugar-free Red Bull.
Every day?
Every day.
Why? Yeah.
Because I get low energy during the day. I start very early in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't go to bed till very late at night, so I'm trying to catch up with myself all the time.
Would that be more healthy for you to go to bed earlier?
I can't. I tried last night to go to bed earlier, and I'm wide awake. Completely wide awake. But I don't see the difference. For all of you, and I'm looking at some of the texts, and there's a lot of you being judgmental about us high energy drinkers. Yet, every single person in here, every day you see them walking out of like the Ball Barista with their coffee cups, and they go to Starbucks twice a day, or Costa Coffee, or or Insomnia Coffee. There's absolutely no difference between.
There's much more caffeine in the high energy drinks than there is in coffee.
Okay, you'd have 3 coffees a day.
I have 2 coffees a day. I have one at home before I leave the house, and I have one when I get in here to work.
Okay, we know Liam, who we work with, always has a barista coffee cup in his hand.
Yeah.
It's always full. How many coffees does that man drink a day?
Yeah, but I take the point you're making, but the caffeine in coffee is not as strong as it is in the high energy drinks.
But surely someone who drinks, there's people we work with that drink about on average 5 coffees a day. Yeah, that would be the equivalent of one Red Bull.
Possibly.
Yes, of course it would. So what I'm saying is, for those of you who are judging high energy drinkers like ourselves, maybe spend a lot less time in Starbucks. And I don't know how people, by the way, on a separate issue, how can people afford 5 Starbucks a day?
I don't myself. I really don't. I don't buy them anymore. We have a great coffee machine here in Marconi House, and I use that.
I don't get the whole coffee thing.
Anyhow, you're here with me to talk to us about things that your partner does. Where did you get this from?
Yes, around the house. This people in relationships have been posting on the website Cora today about the things that their partner does in the house that really, really annoys them. Things they do or things they don't do. Now, these aren't, we're not talking about personal habits. We're not talking about belching or farting or chewing with your mouth open and stuff like this. But these are things that your partner does or doesn't do around the house that really, really annoys you. And I'm going to read out a few of them for you, but we'd love to hear from you. Text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98 and let us know, what things does your partner do or not do in the house that really, really annoys you. Now, one of them, and my wife does this annoys me more than anything, what my wife does, when the toilet roll goes.
Yep.
And it always goes with her, never finishes up with me. So when the toilet roll comes to the end of the toilet roll, you're left with a little brown funnel.
Oh, right, yeah.
On the hook. You know,
she's the last one to use the toilet roll.
She's always the last one.
The last piece.
And she leaves the brown bit of toilet roll.
Oh, doesn't put a new toilet roll on?
No, she does. She does. But she places it on top above the brown cardboard.
Oh, doesn't take the brown cardboard one off and put the new one on?
She won't take the brown cardboard.
How annoying.
It's very annoying. So I arrived this only happened last night. I arrived into the toilet and wanted to go to the toilet, and sitting on top of the round, on top of the brown bit of cardboard is a fresh piece of toilet roll, but she didn't bother putting it on the hook.
Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. What is the one thing around your house that your partner does or doesn't do that annoys the living daylights out of you? 0877 98 98 98. I'll give you an example. My missus is always giving out to me about this, yeah?
Yes.
So I might, when I'm being a good boy, I'll hoover the stairs and I'll hoover the hall and blah, 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 right?
How do you hoover stairs?
What do you mean, how do you hoover stairs?
How do you get to physically lift a hoover up a stairs?
Well, we got one of the lovely Dyson cordless ones. Brilliant.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Anyway, the point I was making is, so I will hoover the stairs and the floor and everything else, yeah? Yep. But I never do the skirting boards, ever. And this really annoys her. Oh, yeah, you think you did the hoovering, do you? And she'll wipe her finger along the skirting boards.
Oh, is she a wiper?
And she'll go, look at that. Yeah. Look at that dust.
Yeah, my wife's a wiper as well. She uses her finger, wipes along everything to show dust. And should you wipe the skirting boards?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Here's another one of someone who posted on Cora, and I don't know if anybody has this problem as well. I have this problem as well. My wife, I'm living with my wife, says this person, 3 years, and not once has she taken the bin liner out of the kitchen bin. It's always left to me. It's a disgusting job, actually.
What, emptying the bin?
No, taking the bin liner out of the bin, tying it at the top, and actually carrying it out of the house.
What's disgusting about it?
It's just a horrible
What is
job.
the one thing that your other half does or doesn't do around your house that absolutely wrecks your head? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. What is the one thing around your house that your partner does or doesn't do that absolutely wrecks your head?
Another one. Oh yeah, this one. The man I live with regularly brings his newspaper and magazines into the toilet and leaves them on the floor for me to pick up.
That's a bit annoying, alright.
It's a man thing. It's a man thing.
What, to just leave the magazines dumped there?
Well, to actually bring a magazine into the toilet in the first place. A woman doesn't do that. I don't think women do that, do they?
Well, I certainly don't. I'm a man.
My partner thinks that there's a monster in the wardrobe because he never leaves or hangs his clothes up in the wardrobe and leaves them on the kitchen table. Now, do you do that, Adrian?
No, but I'll tell you what I do. And it does her head in. I leave presses open, or I leave doors open, or I leave lights on. In fact, I'm actually quite annoying to live with now that I think about it.
How do you live with yourself?
How do I live with myself?
Yeah, we have the drawers in our kitchen that they close on their own. That's what you need to get.
Okay, I'll try and get something
you
like
open them and you leave them alone and they just close on their own.
Okay, here's another message, and it says, my missus never pushes the toothpaste back up towards the top of the tube, and she is always at me for leaving my tea bags in the sink. Now, I have to say, you admitted a couple of weeks ago on this show that you do that yourself.
I do this here as well.
I think it's the most disgusting habit around the house is leaving used tea bags in the sink.
You need to get out more if you think that's disgusting.
It absolutely is the most disgusting habit, leaving used tea bags in the sink. That's what you have that bin for. The bin is there for you to throw it in. Or the brown bin is there for you to recycle it.
Yeah, no, the problem is when you carry the tea bag across the floor onto the bin, it leaks all over the floor and you end up having to clean it.
Well, squeeze it out in the sink and then throw it in the bin.
That's all too complicated. It's ridiculous. My wife leaves a milk carton in the fridge. This is enough. God, yeah. My wife leaves a milk carton in the fridge with a scribble of milk left in it. It absolutely drives me mad.
Oh, so you take out the carton out of the fridge and there isn't even enough for a cup of tea.
Rather than saying, Adrian,
this is just over, let's throw it out.
Adrian, I've just made a cup of tea. There's only a drop of milk left in it. Will you get some tea while you're out? But no, they put the milk back in the fridge as well.
The way my missus cooks food on a frying pan just annoys me. She just doesn't do it right. I need to leave the kitchen when she gets the frying pan out.
Another one here. Does anybody else have a problem with their partner not wanting to clean the George Foreman? Anytime my partner cooks sausages on the George Foreman, he refuses to clean it to the point that there was fur growing on it a couple of weeks ago. It's a horrible job cleaning the George Foreman, isn't it?
I know, but you have to clean them, or as he said, there'll be fur on it. The only annoying thing my wife does is always going on about the annoying things that I do. And actually, that's my missus. The only thing that annoys me about her is her giving out to me for things that annoy her.
I think what this proves is that men should all live together and women should all live together, and men and women should never live together because we just have different views on things, don't we? James says, my missus never scrapes the scraps of dinner into the bin when she's finished her dinner. I always have to scrape it off and put it in the dishwasher. Very annoying. Now, I don't have a dishwasher. Could you not just put food into the dishwasher as well?
No, you can't. You have to clean it off. Yeah, that's very annoying. And one last one. I sometimes work late and come home to find my wife has lit a load of candles around the house and has gone to bed. And I come home tired, but have to spend 10 minutes walking around blowing out the bloody candles. All right, thanks very much.
How difficult is it to blow out a candle?
Thank you for all of your messages. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. 98. Live live and exclusive to Dublin's 98 FM, Monday through Friday between 10 and midday. This is Adrian Kennedy. You're with 98 FM's Dublin Talks. And Trish is here with Tuesday's top headlines.
Thanks, Adrian. The College Green Plaza project must not be abandoned. That's the call for a number of city councillors who met last night to discuss their next move. The project was refused permission by An Bord Pleanála due to concerns about traffic and transport. Ireland has the highest rate of child suicide for girls in the EU, with women twice as likely to be affected by depression than men. A new report on women's mental health also shows that for the first time, women in some of the poorest parts of Dublin are taking their own lives in the same numbers as men. Gardaí are investigating a number of burglaries in the Stepaside area this morning. Shortly after 6 a.m, the windows and doors of a butcher's, a vegetable shop and a chipper were smashed in the village. Sums of cash were taken from two off the premises. There's concern violence at schoolboy matches could lead to serious injury. 7 matches have been abandoned in the last 6 weeks, with reports of adults verbally or physically striking out at young players. And Rihanna is taking legal action against Donald Trump to stop him playing her music at his rallies. She says it gives the false impression she's affiliated with him. And now you're up to date on 98.
98 FM's Dublin Talks. Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Tuesday morning. How are you this morning? The 6th day of November 2018. I'm Adrian Kennedy, and between now and midday today, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks, the mid-morning talk and phone-in show for Dublin, by Dublin, and about Dublin. And if there's anything you want to get in contact with us about, if there's something you want us to talk about, do get in contact. You can send us an email to dublintalks@98fm.com. You can send us a private message through our Facebook page at facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D. And if you haven't already clicked like on our Facebook page, please do, because everything and anything to do with our programme we put up every day on our Facebook page. There's nearly 102,000 followers on the page, and you could be one. All you have to do is click like on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D. Next on the programme, a study out today from the Marie Keating Foundation has shown that the public has very little sympathy for someone who develops lung cancer as a result of years of smoking. Even more interesting is that a lot of people believe that smokers with lung cancer should not be given medical priority over people who are non-smokers. What a bizarre attitude. Over a quarter of Irish people believe that non-smokers should have their lung treatment prioritised over smokers. Also, 34% of adults felt that lung cancer sufferers face a public stigma that patients suffering with other cancers do not face. So in other words, if you are or have been a smoker and you develop lung cancer, people look at you as if like, oh, serves you right. It's your own fault. The public just don't have much sympathy towards smokers who develop lung cancer. And I want to know what you make of this. Does this attitude surprise you? If you're someone who has developed a serious condition or disease as a result of smoking, does it bother you that there is little public sympathy for you? Do you believe that non-smokers should be given priority over smokers when it comes to being treated for illnesses? Our telephone number is 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Jay, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Jay?
Good morning, Adrian.
Morning, Jay. How are you?
Not too bad at all.
Now, Jay, you believe that smokers are just as entitled to healthcare treatment as non-smokers. Why?
Why? Well, simply because we're all people. We all pay taxes and what have you. We're all Irish citizens. You know what I mean? We're all entitled to the same thing. But what I did say is, smokers pay more taxes into the system than non-smokers, so they're entitled more, if not the same.
All right, so for years, somebody who's a smoker has been paying a
lot of VAT and what have you,
and excise duty and everything else on a packet of cigarettes, which has got.
So why not get the benefit of it?
Okay, so you believe that by paying that extra tax for all of those years that they were smoking, that entitles them to...
No, it doesn't entitle them to anything. But it doesn't, just because they're smokers doesn't mean they're less entitled. That's the point I'm making. You know what I mean? Well, they're equally entitled as anyone else. That's like saying someone that has type 2 diabetes shouldn't be ahead of someone that has type 1 diabetes. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Okay, so as far as you're concerned, the extra taxes that people pay during their smoking career, for want of a better word, that entitles them...
It equals it out. It evens it out, doesn't it?
Right, okay, so they shouldn't be treated any differently. They shouldn't be denied treatment just because they...
The thing about the taxes is me just trying to wind people up. The truth is, I don't believe that anyone, just because they smoke, should be put down the list. You know what I mean? So what if it's self-inflicted? Everything out there is self-inflicted. You know what I mean? You walk out in front of a bus, your own fault, you walked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose so, if you look at it that way. Yeah, okay. Stay there for 1 second, Jay. I'd love to hear from you on this, on 6797981. A quarter of Irish people believe that non-smokers should have their lung treatment prioritised over smokers. Now, Jay's argument against that is, well, no, look, smokers paid a lot of extra tax, a lot more tax than you did through their years of smoking. But interestingly, I want to find out about this. 34% of adults felt that lung cancer sufferers face a public stigma that patients suffering with other cancers don't face. And that is the kind of attitude that you hear that somebody who's a smoker for years has developed lung cancer, you immediately don't have much sympathy for them. People have this attitude of, it's his own fault. If he hadn't smoked, he wouldn't have it. Where if that person had any other type of cancer, you would probably have an awful lot more sympathy for them. Text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. I'd love to hear from you on this and ask whether or not you believe, firstly, that... non-smokers should be given priority over smokers. But are you somebody who kind of looks down your nose at a smoker if they develop a lung condition like cancer or emphysema or whatever? Adrian says this message: smokers and non-smokers do not get preferential treatment over one another when it comes to cancer treatment. What that study should say is over a quarter of Irish people are morons. Okay, to say people who get lung cancer deserve it or should be denied treatment is disgusting in the extreme. I've had more experience with cancer than I'd ever want, and if anyone had said this to me about my mother, I'd split them open. It's a disgusting attitude. My mum and dad both had cancer, and my mum's was lung cancer. Dave, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Dave?
How are you, Adrian?
That was your message I just read out there.
It was?
That your mum had lung cancer. What is your reaction to this report saying that 34% of adults feel that lung cancer sufferers face a public stigma?
Well, it just goes to show that the Irish are the miserable, begrudging shower of shitheads that we really are. Because here's the thing, anybody who believes that somebody who had smoke or drank gets preferential treatment over someone else in the hospital is actually a moron. It doesn't go that way. You get diagnosed, and depending on how maybe aggressive that your cancer might be or how sick you are, that's how your treatment plan is done up. Taken into, like my mum said, she goes, look, I did smoke for years. She gave him up, but the stress of looking after my dad when he was dying of cancer put her back on them. And the doctor said, look, you smoked. We're in this situation now. It doesn't matter. What matters is getting you well. And she didn't get bumped up over somebody who didn't smoke. She used to get a bus I used to have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get her to a lift so she could go to Waterford to get radiotherapy. And there were people on the bus who smoked and people on the bus who didn't smoke. So anybody who says that if you smoke you should be put to the back of the line, there is no line. If you're waiting for cancer treatment in this country, it's the hospital's fault. It's the health service's fault. It's the HSE's fault. It's the Minister for Health's fault. It's not the fault of somebody who started smoking before they even knew smoke was bad for you. My mum started smoking back in the day before any research had come out or any studies had come out or any public health warnings had come out about the dangers of smoking. She was off them for years, but the stress of looking after my dad when he was dying of cancer put them back on it because she said herself, it was either I pick up a packet of smokes or I go to the bottle.
And which one would it be worse?
Okay, what do you make of this attitude that a lot of people have, that they have less sympathy for somebody who may develop lung cancer as a result of smoking than somebody who develops any other type of cancer?
Do you know what it is? It just... Yeah, right, look, there is a public stigma against smoking to get people to stop smoking, which is a great thing, but people still smoke. There are all these anti-smoking little pretentious gobshites. They're like, well, I never smoked in my life. Aren't I great? Look at me, I'm wonderful. So find somebody smokes to end up with lung cancer. What? How heartless and cold does a human being have to be to say, oh, you got lung cancer from smoking? That's your own fault. I'm not joking, man. If somebody had said that to me, I would have strangled him. I would have lost the plot. Because dealing with cancer and dealing with treatment and dealing with getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting her to her appointments for 6 solid weeks, looking after her because my dad was gone and I had to move back in with her and take care of her, staying up at night time with her while she was puking her ring up after chemo. If you actually if you actually say to somebody, oh, well, you deserved it, you're a horrible, heartless, cold piece of shit. You really are.
Yet 34% of people feel that way. Feel that if you develop cancer... but I guarantee most of them have never had to deal with it, because I'll tell you something for nothing. If you've ever dealt with cancer, and if you ever dealt with... myself, my missus, between us, have lost 3 parents in the last 3 years, between 2 for cancer and 1 for a brain aneurysm. We've dealt a lot with palliative care people. And if you've ever been through that, and your attitude is still, well, you did something to deserve it, you're a sociopath. Because anyone who's ever had first-hand experience with this kind of shit, it changes your tune completely. It does, because you want to be one heartless, soulless monster to actually say that to somebody. And the kinds of people who do go on like that are just jumped up little gobshites who love the smell of their own farts. Let me read a message that's just come in. My older brother got emphysema from working in a pub years ago where others smoked a lot around him. My older brother never smoked a day in his life. Non-smokers should get priority, says that message. What would you say to that?
But this is I feel like I'm bashing my head off a wall here. This is the thing. Nobody gets preferential treatment over anybody. The only time you see preferential treatment is when it comes to organ donations. Somebody who doesn't smoke or drink will get a new kidney or a liver over somebody who did smoke and drink. That's fair enough. I've no arguments against that at all. If someone's after donating an organ, they need that organ to go to the best fit and the best person that organ, their body won't reject it, because otherwise it's just a waste of an organ. But nobody gets preferential treatment over anybody else if they're a smoker or a drinker.
And that's the way it should be, in your opinion.
But this is the thing. It doesn't happen. You get cancer. If your cancer is really aggressive, they start you on your treatment as quick as humanly possible. My man was lucky that they found it at the start. But what this 34% of people are saying, when they found a tumour in her lung, they should have just left her off for a while. Let it get a bit bigger. Let the treatment be harder. Let us seek a woman in her mid-60s who did nothing to nobody, raised 5 kids more or less on her own back in the day, one of which had special needs back in Dublin years ago, because my dad had to go away for 2 or 3 weeks at a time working to bring money into the house. But just because you enjoyed an old cigarette, we should just let that tumour in your lung get bigger.